Oh, we forgot to say who's doing the episode.
Yeah, we didn't even.
I'll do it. Fuck it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast. We are totally not prepared. I'm Bill. This is Matt. How you doing, Matt?
I'm here.
Yep. It's like we're completely a mess because we just did a podcast right before this one or something. I don't know.
I feel like I was
Anyways,
banished to the Shadow Realm or something.
oh yeah. It's weird. It's weird how like a children's card game and things didn't happen that I thought were gonna. You know, fun stuff.
Oh yeah,
Kaiba's a bitch. Anyways.
as always, as always.
Yeah, it's been a week. Glad it's over. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm looking forward to a little bit of fucking time to just relax tomorrow because, well, my mom was supposed to take Francis last weekend, but my mom got the flu.
Yep.
So yeah, that wasn't happening.
That's the worst.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I didn't get sick. I actually have a pretty good immune system, so the few times I get colds, I mean, they're usually pretty minor, but I'm also in my 30s now, so even a minor cold will stick around for a bit.
Only Alex isn't in her 30s yet for the GNC crew.
So yeah, how has your week been going, Bill?
Slow. Very slow. Didn't really get much accomplished this week other than I read some manga for a certain thing we might be talking about in a bit. Watched a bit of anime. I'm mostly I mean, obviously I'm watching Attack on Titan. If you'd like to hear what my thoughts on it are, there's a GNC episode we did at the time of this comes out. It will probably already be out, but we talked about the Ghost Stories anime, but I gave my Attack on Titan thoughts there.
Up through season 2, at least.
Up through season 2. I have interesting opinions. Certain scenes that were supposed to be dark, I found funny. You know, good stuff.
Yeah, well, that's just what happens when you're a jaded old man.
Well, it's after watching Jujutsu Kaisen, where I actually was upset when most of those characters died in Attack on Titan. It's like I didn't even know you long enough to care.
That's fair. I mean, that's kind of like the thing though. And at the beginning, is it's kind of showing just like how bleak the situation is. Like none of those characters are really supposed to be. Like all the characters that die early on, like none of them are really important except for just kind of like stage dressing.
The amount of times I would message Alex watching it and be like, people went squish.
Yeah. Although I gotta say, like that one scene with freaking when the female Titan's just going on a rampage and she's got one of the dudes on the ODM gear and she's just fucking swinging him around, like that shit fucking ugh.
Yeah.
The centrifugal force just killed him. Like,
see, I was thinking like the scene early on where the Titan attacks the second wall after they've become they've joined the military. It's like their first real like attack, and like I think of that scene where like Aaron and his like group are going out to fight the Titans, and it's like this group of characters that they try to like make you like they're like they introduce you to them and you're like, oh, this is going to be the group of characters for the show, and then they all die immediately and you're like, I guess not.
Yep. So much for that.
Like, oh, these all have unique character designs. I guess they're going to be important. Oh, they're dead. Okay.
And
and they're gone. I'll get into it.
They're in love. Well, they're gonna die.
Oh yeah, them. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Completely.
You forgot about Thomas?
Yes. Completely. Because I'm pretty sure we don't ever see them again.
Well, no, they got eaten.
Marco died, and I didn't even care. I was like, oh well.
Yeah, you might care when you actually see. Oh, actually, no, you might not because you're psychotic, apparently.
Because I don't feel.
Yeah.
We'll get into more when we eventually do the GNC episode when I finish the show, but
I'm gonna have to do a rewatch.
It's gonna be an experience. Yeah, other than that though, not a ton, mostly watching ongoings. Highly recommend Sakamoto Days. When that's finished, that'll be a fun one.
Yeah. I have a lot of ongoings right now, and I feel like I need to actually start diving into so like I finished 1,000 Year Blood War. That's done. And I still got to watch The Assignment from You.
Hmm.
But I mean, I have fucking like 10 months to do that, so it's not like it's any huge rush.
Yeah.
The one that I'm really like kind of like trying to hype myself up for is My Hero because it's 7 seasons, and I think at least a couple movies. So
4 total. Although
four. Jesus.
I don't think the fourth one's out yet.
Well, yeah, that's a lot. So I'm gonna have to buckle down at some point in the near future and do that.
Hmm.
But I rewatched season 1 of Solo Leveling so that I could watch the new stuff.
Season 2 is so
I had
good.
totally forgotten that he had gotten the necromancer power.
Oh yeah, and
So
when do you
that
watch season?
really changes the game. Oh, I'm caught up.
Oh, okay, so you've already seen what he can do with it, and it's
Yeah,
like,
I'm caught up with the
oh,
dub, I should say.
yeah.
Um,
And every episode ends on a goddamn cliffhanger, and I hate it, but I love it
yeah,
at the same time.
and I caught up with the season 2 dub for Kenshin, which
Nice.
only it just got to the point where he got the second reverse blade sword, like when he fought the dude
Right.
with like the whip sword.
Yep.
They gave him like a because you remember how in the old anime they gave him like a hick, like southern accent.
Yeah.
Uh, in this one they gave him like a ghetto accent, and I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know if that's better or worse, honestly.
Like
Hmm.
they gave him like a like you. It's a voice you would expect to like I actually recognize the voice actor because I just watched Thousand Year Blood War, and the same actor played a character in that, and yeah, I don't know, it was really bizarre, but it also kind of fit.
Hmm.
I don't know how I feel about it, but I mean, it's not like I'm going to see that character again anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
um, I gotta watch that. I'm just so I have to wait probably the rest until like the end of the year to watch that, just because I'm so Rurouni Kenshin out at the moment.
well, I mean, the flow is better, and they're definitely not going to get through Kyoto by the end of the season. That's going to be a season 3 is when they
Hmm.
cap that off because I mean they're already like I think over halfway done with season 2, and where I'm at right now, I think the most recent episode for the dub that just came out was like episode 9 or 10, and like I said, like they haven't even like really started like he hasn't even met up with all of his friends. He hasn't met up with his master. He hasn't met up with anybody yet. So
Hmm.
yeah, we still got some time.
I'll have to
Um,
see.
I don't even remember how long the arc was in the original.
It's long.
I know it's long, but I mean,
It's basically the entire second season.
yeah. Um, but I've been enjoying that. Trying to think what else I'm catching. Oh, Doctor Stone. I've been really enjoying that
Hmm.
because they made it to America, and stuff happens.
The I've been watching the new season of My Happy Marriage. It goes places I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, that's another one I'm gonna have to rewatch the first season before I jump into it because I that was literally the first show I watched last year
Yep.
in January. So it's been a bit. And with these 12ers like that and Solo Leveling, it's like I watch it in a day and then I don't think about it for a year. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to. I'm gonna have to do that with like Kaiju number 8 when that season 2 starts, because that's not till like the end
same,
of the year.
same.
Um, yeah, because My Happy Marriage has the first season. There's that OVA, the episode 13, and then season 2.
Did you hear Don season 2 is supposed to be coming out this summer? That is like the fastest turnover for another season I've ever seen in an anime.
Is it weird that like I just like I'm starting to think that show's just not for me, because like I had like I'm like not really hyped to watch it at all.
I feel like it was super overhyped. Like I don't dislike it, and I'm definitely gonna continue watching it, but like it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't have the vibe I'm really looking for. Like
I
it's funny at parts, and the animation's good in parts, but like
Yeah, I
it's
just
just something about it. It just has a vibe to it that just doesn't click.
I don't know. It's like I feel bad because like our friend Chris from a novel console, he hyped it up like crazy, and then I watched it and I was like, I was like, I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's for me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's one of those situations where it got super overhyped.
Hmm.
and when a show gets overhyped, it's honestly something that I've been really worried about with you with Attack on Titan, because a lot of people have been hyping it up for you for like a long time.
That's partially why it's taken me so long to watch it, because the hype's been too big and I've been kind of like, yeah.
But I mean, you'll understand when you get further in. It's not even like, oh, this show is like with Dawn to Dawn, like everyone's just like, oh, like this is just an amazing show. It's the best thing that's ever happened. But like Attack on Titan is just a well-written show, and you'll see what I mean when you get further along.
Yeah, I mean, I got through 2 seasons in a weekend, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, you won't start really getting any answers until towards the end of season 3.
I wasn't expecting them, honestly, because all the show does is it give you more questions.
Oh, you will get answers, sir. You will get answers.
I'm sure I will. Just trying to figure out that fucking animal titan that was running around talking.
Oh, the Beast Titan?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Oh, you will have answers, sir. You will have answers.
I'm sure I will. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, Apothecary Diary season 2 has been good so far. Why is that show so good? I don't understand.
I don't either, honestly. I'm caught up on that too, and I've been having so much fun with it.
You know what I think it is? I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the main character Mao Mao is just he's so different and so likable, like in every way.
I feel like she's like the most real anime character I've ever seen, because she's just like, I really don't give a fuck. I'm just skating by because I'm just gonna try and fly under the radar, and I'm still gonna do what I think I should do, but like I'm not gonna go like super out of my way to make a name for myself. It's just kind of happens to her.
She's like, her entire goal is to be as unremarkable as possible, and she's like literally the most remarkable person there.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite line. She's like, "This is poison," and she's so happy about it.
Yeah, she's like fucking on the cusp of a climax. She's like, "This is poison,"
and she's like, "Vomit, like vomit now."
Like shoving the shit down her throat.
She's like, "No, it's fine." And he's like, "No, get it out."
Oh god. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been doing the ongoings for. I did start. I started Devilman Crybaby. I don't know how I feel about it.
I've heard nothing.
Not crazy about it.
I've heard nothing but bad things about that show.
Really, because I've heard good things about it, and that's why I wanted. And I thought it was only 10 episodes. I was like, oh, I'll give it a try. And I watched 2 episodes, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, that one's
I don't know about it. It just doesn't appeal to me.
I mean, you know me though. I like my slice of life, so
yeah. I don't know. That one might end up being a dropped anime. If I'm being totally honest. Yeah, and I generally don't drop anime, but
I mean, same. I mean, I don't count Bleach as a drop. That's just a failed attempt.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
on the video game front, I've been playing around with my new little handheld thing, and learning more about like what it can do. Well, first of all, it has an HDMI port, and I learned that I could just connect my PS5 controller to it.
Oh,
so and it can play like up to like PS1, PSP, like everything from that point and as far back as you can go. And apparently, it technically has the capability to run N64, but I don't think it has enough power to do it.
N64 is a little tough, like because the N64 is a weird beast of a system.
I might try to get a ROM for like a game for it just to see how it runs.
See if it can run Mario 64. If it can't run Mario 64, you're probably not gonna get very far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only game that I really care about is like original Smash Brothers. Because like,
I wonder if it could run that.
No, I'm curious. I'm gonna try it and we'll see what happens. But I mean, there's like maybe like 2 or 3 other N64 games that I would care enough for. But I mean, while I don't have a Switch myself, there are 2 other Switches in the house, and all the other games on that list are on NSO. So I'm not really that worried about it.
True.
Huh. Not to mention the fact that we actually have an N64. So
true.
And I've been playing this week. I've been playing a lot of the Poke Duel the Fire Red ROM hack where they replaced
Oh
most of
yeah.
them with Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. And I'm in Vermilion City, the third gym, and it's been a pretty wild ride. There's so many like stupid references to like Konami being assholes.
Yeah. Well, I
They
mean,
just throw out. It's
accurate.
just like, oh, fucking Konami taking all my money. Every time I buy I go to get all the cards in a box, they release a new box. Those sons of bitches. Like, there's so many like lines like that throughout the game, and it's so funny.
Hmm. The only game I've been playing is I'm currently playing Mario and Luigi Partisan Time for a project, and I'm currently at the I'm like right before the final boss. But I decided for the because I've beat this game like 12 times now. Like it's
Mhm.
I know it inside and out. I decided for this playthrough I'm gonna actually like I'm gonna break the game. I'm gonna like min max and stuff and like just go out of my way to like be OP as fuck.
Yeah.
Um, so I have like the most broken badges in the game now. So now I literally just have to finish doing some grinding and then I'm gonna just annihilate the final bosses and then move on.
I meant to ask you what was your favorite Tales game,
Abyss,
and that came out for.
PS2,
Okay.
also on
That's it.
3DS.
Okay. Shit. So they're a couple of the only ones that I won't be able to. I mean, I don't know if there's a physical or how much it goes for 3DS, but
It's actually gone down. It was up there. I think it's like around like retail price nowadays.
oh, that's not too bad.
Let me check. 'Cause, there's actually rumors about a re-release, which I don't want to get my hopes up because I'm just ready for Bamco to fucking hurt me again. But
That's about right. I was only asking because I've been looking for good games to put on the thing, and I noticed that there were a fair amount of Tales games for older systems.
see, those don't play anything like the Symphonia Tales of the Abyss ones.
Hmm.
So right now the 3DS version, there's a brand new copy going for 44. So that's not
Okay.
bad at all. You can get the loose cart for like 22.
Oh, you know what else I realized?
Oh
So
yeah.
you know that DS chip that I've mentioned numerous times.
Mhm.
Well, the games aren't actually on the chip. There's a micro SD card in the chip.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Yeah. So I could just I could just get more games. I'll just get a bigger size micro SD card, transfer everything over, and then I could just put like every DS game ever on it.
Theoretically, yeah. I don't know how the OSs for those things work, but theoretically, you'd think.
I mean, I did that because I wanted, what the hell was it called? Jump Superstars and Jump Ultimate Stars.
Mhm.
Because I always wanted to play those games, but they were never like officially released here. I found ROMs on them for them, and I put it on, and I played around with it for a second. I didn't really put any like, time into it, but because they're like literally just Smash Brothers, but with anime characters.
Oh yeah, yeah. I because I found it at that retro store near me, like just chilling there. That's why I have the one of them on DS, anyways.
Mhm. So messed around with that. I also got the I mostly did this for Xander's sake, but I got the ROM for the DS release of Chrono Trigger because
Nice.
he also has a chip. So I was gonna put it on his so he could play it.
Hmm. That is a good way to play Chrono Trigger.
To my understanding, that's like the definitive way
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so.
because it's got all the cutscenes, added, um, all the like, added dungeons and whatnot,
Yeah,
and but it's not as slow as the PlayStation version.
yeah. The PlayStation version has horrendous load times. The Super Nintendo has a charm to it. Like it has it sounds the best. The translation isn't perfect, but it's got a charm, like a kind of unique charm to it as well.
I have that one on my Ambernick too, but I mean, I still have my new game plus going on the Vita, so if I play it, I'm probably still just gonna play that one.
Yeah.
But still, I like knowing that I have it.
Oh yeah. No, that makes sense. Um. So yeah, do you think it's time we get into Dyma time?
Yeah.
All right, let's do Dyma time. Need our background music. I think that's the music we settled on. If it's not, oh well.
Whatever.
So we're at episode 5 of Daima.
Pansy.
Yes, Pansy. We've got the crew now.
Yep, we got our pretty much our group for the time being until the other folks join up with them.
Stuff's finally happening.
Yes. So we left off like right when like Pansy kind of like took off the mask and revealed herself. And so well, first of all, how do you feel about Pansy so far as a character?
She's very Dragon Ball. Like she's got that vibe. Like she fits in with this core group. I'd say she's like the Bulma, I guess, of this group right now. Before Bulma eventually shows up.
Well, that's definitely what they're going for. And actually, you know what? There's a lot of context here, like because like how far technology advances in Super. And now that I'm thinking about it, like maybe a lot of it is because she steals a bunch of stuff from the demon realm from Pansy, and like it, like puts that into like Earth technology.
Maybe because we still don't really know how if these connect. Like,
I can't say anything.
Okay, so there is,
but something happened in the most recent episode. If I'm being honest, it's probably going to get spoiled for you because I can't see how this isn't going to end up in your feed somehow.
Amazingly, I haven't had a lot of Dragon Ball stuff in my feed in a while, so
this is one of those things where if you look up anime in any way, shape, or form, it's probably gonna pop up because this is kind of like a huge thing that happened in this last episode.
Yeah. I mean, I'll continue.
I won't say anything just in case you were lucky and it slides by, but I would be shocked if it didn't get spoiled for you before the dub came out for it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've managed to avoid spoilers so far. I get spoiled in fucking Formula One subreddits. I mean, let's be real here.
Yeah. So, well, we got this whole like exchange between Goku and Pansy, where Pansy's like, "How can you do all these crazy things?" He's like, "What do you mean? It's training." She's like, "What the fuck is training?" Like, what do you mean? What is training? Like, people don't know what training is.
We had another.
Also, Pansy's 82 years old.
Yeah. Yep. That was a thing. Which gets hilariously referenced later when Goku gets the daughter of this one of these demons down there. He gets offered one of his daughters as a bride, and Goku's like, "Well, I'm already married because I have to remember Chi-Chi when I'm obligated to."
Well, it was Pansy. It was Pansy's.
Oh, right, yeah. That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And Goku's like, "Well, I'm already married," and it's like,
he's married and I have kids.
Like, yeah. When Goku only remembers Chi-Chi when it's relevant. That's how I always see it.
Which I'm just saying, he wasn't saying that shit when it was Princess Snake.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. That did happen.
Yeah. But anywho, so we get this whole bit where like, was it that one scene with like all the soldier guys who were just like, "We're gonna go after that kid with the impossible haircut and the red stick."
Yeah. Just being self-aware now.
Yeah. So we just kind of get like a little like clip show of just kind of showing like all the different locales that they're traveling through. And we get a name for the Supreme Kai race.
We did.
They are Glins.
Glyn. I remember I heard that name and I was like, I just kind of didn't know what to think. I was kind of like, I don't know if I like that or not.
I mean, I feel like it fits with like the vibe that race gives off. At least the Universe 7 ones. Some of the ones from the other universes, maybe not. But
well, anytime I heard Glenn, I just immediately thought Glenn. I'm like, it's Glenn. Damn it.
Well, it's Glind.
Glind. Yeah.
Also, we get more of Goku saying Glorio's name wrong.
Yeah. And he's still,
which actually even like later on, like somebody else I think calls him a different name. It's Glorio.
I love Aaron Discmuse. Just like he's annoyed, but he doesn't have enough fucks to give to be really annoyed.
Like it's mildly irritating, but not enough for him to give a shit.
Yeah, it would require like he's like, I don't have enough energy to be like annoyed to actually do anything about it.
Hmm. So they get to the castle. Oh no, they're like going up to the castle, and they're like, "Oh, so what's this king guy like?" And Glorio's just like, "Oh yeah, he's your usual mafia boss piece of shit."
Yeah,
And then they get there, and it's just like, "Oh, Princess Pansy, you're here," and they're like, "Oh fuck, that's her dad."
yeah, yeah. I love that.
Whoops.
What is with Goku and running into royalty that like marries off his daughters, their daughters to him?
It's just one of those things that happens, man. He's an
Goku,
anime pro tag. It's gonna happen.
yeah, the difference is Goku's like, oh, that sounds delicious. I'll go. Sure, let's do that.
Yeah, right. So we get the very classic OG Dragon Ball style, like, this is the guy you brought me. He's just a kid. Go fuck yourself.
And
And
then
then
Goku,
Goku's just like, yeah, but I'm super strong. Like, here, let me prove it to you.
proceeds to
Very,
Goku.
very, very classic Dragon Ball. We got a really cool fight scene of just Goku just beating the shit out of this guy's whole militia.
What'd you think of Stephanie Nadami's performance in this episode? I think she's starting to get it again.
Yeah, starting to get kind of back into the groove, for sure. I mean, and there's still moments where it's very aware, like, oh yeah, 20 years have gone by,
Oh yeah.
but overall, I'm really enjoying like having that again.
It's a nice like warm thing compared to like all the new talent in this series.
For sure. And I'm really curious, like who we're gonna get for some of the other actors, because I obviously like I know about a lot of the other characters coming up,
Hmm.
and I'm really curious what like who they're gonna go with for some of these people. Um. Oh, what was that one scene? Wasn't there a scene at one point where it was like some random like demon wet nurse that was like singing or like telling like reading a bedtime story to baby Dende?
Yeah.
And what's his name comes up out like the king guy. I forget his name. He comes up out of nowhere and he's just like, if you tell him stories like that, you'll stunt his growth. You got to put some feeling into it.
Yeah.
It's just super random. Like,
Yeah, I'm like looking through some of the voice actors for this series, and it still amazes me how like legit, other than like Aaron Diskmew and Stephanie Nadami, like none of them I know. That's like a lot of new talent in this.
It's a great opportunity for them to do that, and voice acting has come so far since like the early 2000s.
Because Pansy's voiced by Veronica Laux, I think, or Luax. And she has also done. Oh, she's a character in Apothecary Diaries.
Oh,
neat. I don't know if we've encountered that character yet, so we'll wait and see.
Well, I have to imagine we have.
It looks like a character from season 2. I just can't remember who. Yeah, but
Maybe it's the new consort.
No. It looks like one of the ladies in waiting for one of the other consorts, but I can't exactly put my finger on which one.
Gotcha.
It is still weird though, like how the rest of the cast is currently sidelined. I know they're obviously going to appear at some point, but it's
and we also we got introduced to another new character who you wouldn't know it by looking at him, but you are going to be seeing quite a bit of him as the story goes on. I'm blanking on his name, but the very goofy looking guy who wanted to get his hair done.
Let me see if he's listed.
I have to imagine he is. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but
yeah, behind the voice actors doesn't have a really great list right now.
It's hard. It's probably hard for them with a show that's ongoing and only has a few episodes out so far.
True. Well, I think it's community based, but I don't really know.
But yeah, he's gets sent out to go and collect the other members of the group that were left on Kami's lookout.
Hmm.
Which, by the way, he takes out this like dragon radar looking device, and he just pulls up a picture of Kami's lookout. Like, where is this database? Like, where is this information coming from?
God knows.
Like, how did these people know? Not only know where it is, but have an image of it.
This is like one of those "Who watches the Watchmen" kind of thing, where I'm just like, it's like, do we really want to know?
I don't know. I don't know, but it was kind of bizarre.
I will
But yeah,
say, oh, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, we got a really, really fun fight scene of him just like destroying all these guys. We got our first Super Saiyan transformation, but it was literally just a split second, and then he reverted back.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, oh, like they're going for the tease, aren't they?
Hmm. No, I think next episode is when we get our first like legitimate Super Saiyan transformation. um, but yeah, and that's pretty much it. They give them a new ship, and Pansy's like, "Well, I'm going too," and that's pretty much it.
It was like, I'm in the title, but the intro, I need to be here.
Yep. But all in all, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. It was
Stuff's
it kept
happening.
things moving along. We got some more adventure, which is always good. I'm a big fan of adventure. So
We got classic dumb Goku.
mhm.
I will say this is definitely going to be a show that's going to be better when it's fully released, to just
Yeah.
go from beginning to end.
For sure.
Like, this is a perfect show for marathon mode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dragon Ball in general has kind of always been that way. That's why that's always been a feature on the DVDs and Blu-rays.
Oh, it's been a godsend with Attack on Titan. I will say that.
Oh, I'm sure. But those intros are so good.
Yeah, but I've heard it once. I don't have to listen to it every time.
Ah, man. Sasageo, though, Bill. That's a good song.
I didn't realize the original iconic intro only plays for like 12 episodes, and then they immediately like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But there's like, it's the same group that does the like pretty much every opening except for like one of them. So like they pay homage to that in pretty much every opening, except I think for the season 4 part 2.
Gotcha. But yeah, Daima has been it's finally getting somewhere. That's good.
Next episode is going to be a fun one.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm not sure if I'll watch it after this because I don't know if I'll be awake by the time we're done, but
yeah, because you have another prior engagement after this as well.
Yeah, I do. I've got a long night. But yeah, so Daima coming along. I will
Solid episode.
Stuff happened. That's all I want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so moving on from Daima, we're doing another manga continuation of our manga series.
Mm-hmm.
This time returning to the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games.
Indeed.
This time we're covering the Duelist Kingdom arc of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga. And boy, it's weird how it is both very accurate and very different from the anime in certain places.
Yeah, for sure. Like there are some points where it's almost beat for beat the same as the anime, but then it takes a complete left turn and like it'll go into like it's the same part, but it's handled very differently. And you know what? I don't know if you had the same kind of like realization as you were watching it. But I mean, obviously, there's like the dumb things like, oh, I'm gonna break the flotation ring or fucking whatever.
Yeah, that still happens, and I was
like that
oh.
kind of shit still happens. But aside from that kind of random bullshit, I actually kind of understand how the rules work in this arc.
Yeah, because they still kind of follow the whole just play whatever rules because they didn't really establish the proper rules yet. But
like the rules that they had in place for this tournament arc, like actually like made sense in my head as I was reading it as opposed to watching it. And I think part of that might just be because things flow much quicker. Like we don't have fucking like 4 episodes on one duel. It's like a couple of chapters and the duel's over.
Yeah,
unless it's like a big one, obviously. But
I also found it really interesting that the whole like duelist hologram like stadiums don't exist in this universe. They're just tables and chairs everywhere.
Yeah, See, I couldn't remember how it went. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, so it's all like the little tables, but then like the finals are gonna be a big stadium.
Oh
No,
yeah,
there
and
was
then
no big
they
stadium.
but they tease you because they show that the duel with
Yeah.
Kaiba and Pegasus. I'm like, oh, Pep, here it is, and it's like nope table, and I'm just like,
It's like,
oh.
nope, there's a table in the middle. God damn
Like the
it.
only actual accurate part was the dual disc, which is they actually make a point of referencing that the dual disc is very advanced. Like,
And they like made a point about, oh, the rules are different when you use the dual disc,
hmm.
which I thought was interesting. They actually explained like the differences between the rules, how you can attack like cards in their hand too.
Yeah, yeah, they dropped that after a while.
I thought it was an interesting way to play though. Like
Hmm.
honestly, like I'm surprised these aren't like homebrew rules
I'm. It
for
must have
Yu-Gi-Oh.
been. It honestly was probably just because of animation and drawing reasons, but like I kind of wish that dual disc was the one that they stuck with.
But they wouldn't be able to sell that one.
I know that's the only downside. Would have been fun though.
How are you
That
gonna
would have
make
been
a
a
toy out of that one?
that would have been a fucking disaster waiting to happen. If you thought Beyblades were bad,
Yeah,
just
right.
imagine
Fucking huck that
imagine
at somebody's face.
kids just winging these fucking spinning dual things, and then the cards would fly everywhere because they wouldn't be able to seed it properly.
Should I throw it like a frisbee or roll it like a ball?
I hate that he doesn't say that line in the manga. He says the frisbee part. He doesn't say the roll it like a ball line.
Yeah, right.
Also, I have to say, the art is so good.
Oh yeah, like the anime really doesn't do the art justice.
No, everyone's so fucking sharp in the anime. In this one, they're soft. Like there's
Yeah,
actual like
it definitely
emotion.
like is definitely more angular than the previous section of the manga, but I don't know. It's just so realistic's a bad word. It's Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm gonna also just a preface. I'm gonna use the American names because I can never remember the goddamn Japanese names.
Even though once again we get a character calling Jonochi Joey.
Yep.
So it makes sense why that's the name they went for in the English dub, because they even make it a whole thing. Because it makes sense, because Bandit Keith keeps calling him Joey, and Bandit Keith is American.
You know what I just realized? I didn't even notice that until you said it, and it just hit me. I was like, wait a minute.
You had the same thing happen in the last arc when his D&D character was Joey.
Yeah. I'm just so brained for it where I'm like, I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the expressive like art and like actual characters feeling like characters, this is my favorite version of Mai. She's so
Oh, for
much more
sure.
interesting in the manga than she is in the anime.
Yeah, Mai Kujaku.
Doesn't roll quite off the tongue the same way, but
No, not quite.
she is so much more like the actual scene when we're gonna be jumping around obviously, but
Yeah.
the scene where Yugi defeats her, like that is one of the most emotional scenes. Like I actually felt genuine emotions reading that. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
just because the way he draws it, it's like he actually shows her as a human being, not just this robot like she was in the anime.
No, she's showing a lot more boob though in this.
Yeah, like, she doesn't wear the jacket for like half the tournament.
Yeah, so she's literally just wearing a corset and like it's just nothing but cleavage.
Ironically, though, this section was a lot less horny than the first half.
Even though she like pretty much told Rex that she would bang him if he beat her in a card game.
Yeah, that was like the most explicit, and even then, it's pretty tame. In all honesty,
Yeah, for
especially
sure.
especially when you realize she had no intention of losing that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant to say Dinosaur Ryuzaki.
I both like and hate that name.
Yeah.
And then
And then
Insector.
yeah,
Insector
Insector Higa.
doesn't roll off the tongue the same way as Weevil Underwood.
No, but at the same time, I kind of love it.
Also, Radio Grandpa, like what's going
Oh
on?
yeah,
There?
it turns out he's not trapped in a card. He's stuck in the videotape, so they brought a camcorder so they could talk.
Yeah,
To him.
yeah. I was like, oh, we get portable Grandpa throughout this. This is both
Yeah, it's great.
stupider and
It's like it's like every now and then he just pulls it out like, oh shit, I forgot my grandpa's in my bag. Hey, what's up?
yeah. I was like, wow, this like is somehow less emotional than the original. I
Yeah,
was like,
right.
it's weird how this section has so many really emotional moments thanks to the art, but then we got fucking TV Grandpa and portable Grandpa, like, and I'm like,
He's just like, I'm rooting for you, Yugi.
And then when he gets free, his little ghost just flies up in the air, and
He
I'm
just
like,
flies out of the camcorder.
which is hilarious too, because they still put Kaiba and Mokuba in the cards, but no, we got Portable Grandpa, which
Yep.
was funny and both funny and stupid at the same time, especially because they forget about him a lot. But
Yeah. There's like a lot of times where I'll forget about him and then they'll just pull it out and I'm like, oh shit, here's grandpa.
it also was a little weird. Like, speaking of the art making characters way more expressive, fucking Pegasus is super expressive in this goddamn arc.
And very bloody at certain scenes.
Well, yeah, because you actually see what really happened, not just
Both when he got the eye and when he lost it.
yeah, not just Bakura. Well, actually, no, we don't even see Bakura take the eye. We just see the aftermath.
Yep. Also,
Which,
Bakora's there from the start. That whole like bit where he shows up and just kind of comes out of the shadows and
oh yeah,
because the cards.
because
That
they
doesn't happen.
changed it. They did the little game in the previous arc in the manga,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
it's interesting how much quicker Duelist Kingdom goes when a lot of the bullshit filler is like out.
Which I mean, there's not quite as much bullshit filler. It's just they stretched out the duels so
Well,
much in the anime.
there's bullshit filler that I didn't realize was filler. Like, holy, there was a lot of things where I'm like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
because some of the filler was great, like the
Well,
Yugi Joey duel.
the Yugi Joey duel, when they were just like, when Pegasus was like, nah, we're skipping that. I was like, what? And
Yeah,
then I turned the page and I'm like, wait, I'm like, did I miss a page? Like, what?
you know, she's just like, yeah, you just go duel him. I'm good. I'm good. We'll
I
just
was
move
like,
on.
that is one of the most emotional scenes in the anime. And we get the awesome Dark Sage like reveal, and then it's like, nah, we don't need that. I'm just like,
Yeah, when he's actually doing really, really good against Yugi for like most of the duel.
I know that's like one of Joey's best fights, and he would have won too if it wasn't for like one misconception that he didn't know about.
But at the same time, it's like knowing what we know about like future events, it does make something that's going to happen in the next arc a lot more meaningful
True.
because that's actually the first like official tournament duel.
Hmm.
So, I mean, when we get there, we'll talk about that more consistently. But
Also, why is Kaiba's jacket so fucking fabulous in this one?
yeah, right. Like I feel like it should be sparkling.
It like it is. It's like it's not just like boring like in the anime. It's like he's like fucking. Also, he was in a mental institution for a while in this. Like,
Oh yeah, he was still brain dead at the beginning of this arc from when he was mind crushed.
yeah, because we didn't have like the evil version of Kaiba this time around. Instead, it was just some dude that we fight.
Yeah, it was a ventriloquist with a Kaiba dummy.
Yeah, it was kind of. It's weird how the manga is both more serious and then less serious at points.
Yeah, but
Because
like it was also like kind of like I feel like if they had animated it that way, it would have been way creepier than it would have been with the ghost Kaiba that they did with like the weird clown guy.
yeah,
Because he did like this weird like stuttering thing with the Kaiba puppet. He was like, "Come on, Yugi, we're gonna duel."
yeah.
Like, and I feel like if he was like doing that with the Kaiba voice, like it would have been super creepy.
So I completely forget. Was Weevil the champion in the anime, or was Rex the champion? I can't remember if they swapped it in this or not.
No, it's consistent. It
Okay,
was Weevil,
all right.
or Insector Higa.
I hate
Get it
that
right.
name. We don't get the Weevil underpants joke anymore, and it's not as funny. Um,
Also, it's very clear from the very beginning that Higa and Ryuzaki are bad guys. Like right as soon as you get on the boat, they have that like. But at the same time, I feel like everybody kind of like looks like a bad guy at the beginning, like when they're first introduced in Yu-Gi-Oh, in the
also,
manga at least.
fucking TV Grandpa was right there. He should have said, "Don't give him your cards, you dumbass. He's gonna throw
No,
it
he
off
should
the
have said
boat."
don't. He should have said don't give him my cards, asshole.
Yeah,
Those are Grandpa's cards.
yeah. Fuck it. That scene pisses me off in both because it's like, God damn it, Yugi. That's like the most powerful card on the island. Don't just throw it in the. Okay, fine.
Yep, there it goes.
He can't be that OP. He's already OP as it is.
So I'm trying to think of like, are there any like main differences we want to talk about with any of the duels specifically?
One notable one is the Yugi, not Yugi, the Joey Rex fight, dinosaur, whatever the fuck, I don't care.
Mhm.
That one they cut out the entire Tristan arc where like he like they have their weird like fight emo moment, and then like he gets Tristan's card and they like use it in the fight. Like that's completely just not even relevant in this.
Mhm. I'm kind of happy about that though, if I'm being honest.
No power of friendship. Oh yeah, the friendship circle even in this? They didn't bring up was the friendship
It's
circle in the previous arc? I don't
it
remember.
was, I believe, it was during the Death Tea stuff, which gets
Okay.
brought up a lot.
Yeah, because like in the anime, they bring up the goddamn friendship like smile face thing like every fucking 3 minutes, but in this, it's like they didn't mention it once. On
Yeah, the smile thing actually has like context in the manga, but they don't
yeah,
bring it up the way they do constantly in the anime.
yeah, the anime it's like it's like I know you can't see the marker anymore, but our friendship circle's permanent.
Yeah, it's
Um.
ridiculous.
Oh, also another thing that they just completely so they have the obviously Kaiba Yugi face off on the castle. Kaiba's a bitch moment.
Mhm.
Um, which somehow that fight is way quicker in the manga than it is in the
Oh
anime.
yeah. Well, I mean, all of them are really a lot quicker. Like
Yeah.
I think the Pegasus duel is the longest one, and even that wasn't even a full volume.
Oh, that's abridged super compared to the well, it's I should say it's stretched out in the anime.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it was like 5 episodes.
yeah.
Um,
I will
Also, I love
say,
about the Yuki Kaiba duel that they have there. I remember in the anime, it was like he got up on the edge there, and he was like, "Oh, if you attack me, then the shock waves from the attack might push me over the edge and kill me." And this one, he's just like, "No, if I lose, I'm jumping. Like I'm gonna kill myself. Like period. Like
yeah, I know. I was like Kaiba, you were such a bitch.
for
Um,
real."
I will say though, I am one thing I did like was they got rid of that dumb fucking. So obviously Yugi loses his star chips there, and he has to get Mai comes in with the sweet like save.
Mhm.
They got rid of the stupid like Yugi just being a fucking vegetable for like 20 minutes while and then Taya has to go get them for him. They got rid of that because I never liked that in the anime.
Nobody did.
It's so boring because Taya doesn't do shit, and then Yugi just gets over it. Like in this, he's upset for like 3 minutes, and then they basically are like, "No, take the things," and he's like, "Okay, I'll take the things," and it's
Yeah,
already
they
over.
talk him out of it, and there's like, no, it's fine. You're fine. Don't worry
And my,
about it.
and Mai doesn't even like throw a bitch fit like she does in the anime. She's like, "Okay, he's good. Here's your chips. Now
Yeah.
we're even."
Well, on the subject of like Mai and the star chips and whatnot, there was the whole bit with I don't even remember what they called him in the manga, but they called him Panic in the anime.
Oh yeah, the guys that
The the
steal the chips.
the darkness guy with the castle, the
Yeah,
flotation ring guy. Um, so in the anime, when they had the big stadiums, he had like rigged like flamethrowers that they were shooting at him. In this, he literally just like tied like a wire around Yugi's neck. He's like, if I win and beat you, I'm just going to fucking strangle you,
yeah.
which is pretty wild.
Manga's dark. Also, in the anime, they capture Mai and steal her starships by like they confront her in the woods because she wanders off. In this, they go into her fucking tent. I was like, that's fucked. Like in so many
Yeah.
levels.
And it only happened too because like she had like kind of arranged like a meeting between Taya and Yugi or
Yeah,
Anzu and Yugi because like she's like, no, you guys like each other. You guys should go and make it happen. And as soon as Anzu leaves, fucking what's his face just kind of like busts the tent down. It's just like, yo, you're coming with me.
yeah. Which is like that's not. I didn't like that. I will say I was like, no, 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 no.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's weird the subtle differences, but then you get the fights that are like almost note for note, like the twins.
Yeah, the Paradox Brothers, whatever. I don't remember what they call them in the manga.
Yeah, that entire scene is straight up note for note. Aside from we get actually see the evil spirit of the ring take over Bakura again. Like we get a
Yeah, like
bit
we
of
actually see like the exact moment when like that happens.
yeah, like because he starts like talking to him again. He's like because Bakura notably doesn't put the ring back on. He just kind of carries it around,
And
which I
then I
thought
think
was
it was that I think it was during that double duel where like they were like freaking out about like, oh, I don't know where to go. And then Bakura hears the voice of the spirit and he's like, hey, I could tell you where to go. You just got to put the ring on. We don't actually see him do it, but it's very heavily implied that that's when he puts it back on.
Also,
And
the fight with the bones was pretty much the same. Like that whole section was mostly the same.
oh no, they roughed Jinochi up a little bit there.
Well, they can't show that in the anime because for
Yeah.
kids.
They literally picked him up. And he was like midstream, and they picked him up and pulled him away.
Yeah, it's true.
He was taking a piss in the woods, and they just picked him up midstream and walked away with him.
That's ballsy. At least let him finish.
Right?
At least let him finish.
Yeah, let him shake it off, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah, but those were for most part the same. I like Bandit Keith in the manga more than the anime. The anime he's just kind of generic, and this one he feels like a villain.
Yeah, he actually like kind of like get a little bit more background on him, like after he lost to Pegasus in America, and like how he just kind of like everything went downhill for him. He started drinking and doing drugs, and
oh yeah. Also, like the fact that like they do. It's weird how they establish in this that I guess this is American.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it's implied that they're in America, right? Like an island off of America.
Yeah, because in the anime, which is weird, because 4Kids used to do this all the time. They don't even like bring it up. Like they make it very ambiguous, because like it's implied Bandit Keith is American as well. Right? No.
Ironically, I don't think it's ever outwardly stated that they're not already in America until Waking the Dragons when they go to America.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Waking the Dragons all filler? Or does that happen in the manga?
Yeah, it's all filler.
Okay, that's what I thought. Good, because I did not like that arc, and we don't have to cover it. So the Yugi Mai fight is really good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot, even though it is very abridged in the manga version.
I mean, well, it's not even that it's a bridge; it's just that it's not stretched out. Like it's there for as much time as it needs to be, and pretty much almost as soon as Yugi kind of gets over his identity crisis, I guess, for lack of a better word, he pretty much instantly turns the tables and is like, "Yeah, I win."
Well, it's funny too because he like turns in the manga, he like turns the tables, and then like Mai has her brief hope spot, and then Yugi immediately just like, "Nope, you're done." The genuine emotion though when she like forfeits the match is like, damn, like I actually like her as a character here.
Yeah, but like just going through her whole character arc on the island, like because like they go through the whole like Jinochi beats her, and then she tries to get Dinosaur Ryuzaki to beat Jinochi, and then that fails, and then like randomly she just kind of comes out of the woods at night, and she's just like, I don't really know why I'm doing this, but I kind of just want to talk to you guys and hang out, and like it just kind of like that kind of was like the start of her real development. I don't know, it's just like the way that they handle it, it's such a subtle difference between the manga and the anime with her character arc, but it's enough where it does make a difference, and you feel it as you're reading it.
Well, you actually like her, and then you actually feel bad when she loses because even though she takes it so well, she's like, yeah, not my time.
Also, she worked in a casino. Like that's like her backstory is she was like and that's why like she knows all these like card cheating tricks.
Yeah. Also, I was very I know it's a 4Kids line, but I was very upset that we didn't get the great dinosaur when he's fighting dinosaur or whatever. And he squishes baby dragon right away. He's like, you can't leave a baby unattended.
Yeah.
We didn't get that lovely line, but it was still fun.
For real.
I love that. Also, we didn't get the line when he uses Time Wizard on Red Eyes. We didn't get mine being like, oh, he's just a little gray, but he should be okay. Or he falls apart.
So the Jinochi and Bandit Keith duel. For the most part is pretty beat for beat. He still steals the card, but he doesn't get called out for stealing it.
He steals the card, but in this one it doesn't even matter because we find out that card Joey wasn't going to show that card anyways because it just goes right back to Yugi.
Yeah, this is true.
I
Yeah,
will
because
say though,
he didn't even end up dueling Yugi, so it's like he didn't really need. I mean, I guess it saves Yugi a duel, like because he would have had to duel Bandit Keith otherwise. But
true. I will say though, Bandit Keith's a lot more serious in the manga because he doesn't do that stupid bullshit where he accidentally drops the Zoa card. He's like, "You didn't see that."
yeah,
He just flat out plays it, and he's like, "Yeah," and they're like, "That's not a machine card. What could happen here?"
hmm.
Um,
But yeah, that whole duel goes by very quickly, and
it does, which is interesting because it's pretty much beat for beat, but like without all the fucking in between bullshit, it just goes by like,
it's the aftermath of that duel that's really different. Because he like kind of in the anime, he like literally leaps at Pegasus right then and there.
and then gets flushed down the
I'm
middle
pretty sure they
portal.
edited a gun out of his hand too. In
Oh
the
yeah, because
fourth
he's got a gun. He's got a gun in the fucking manga, all right. Like
well, no, he has a knife in the manga.
knife, yeah, knife. Oh yeah, Kaiba's got a fucking gun in
Oh
this.
yeah, Kaiba's just swinging a Glock around the whole time.
Yeah,
Like, remember that one scene where he had fucking Croquet? Like, he's got his head jammed in his fucking suitcase. He's pointing a gun at him.
yeah.
Like, you bring Pegasus out now, motherfuckers. Like, he just Kaiba's kind of a G in this arc.
He's a G, but he's still a bitch. Like that fucking move in the Yugi fight. I will forever be pissed about that.
Hmm. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, you fucking, you got to give him credit though, because this is like ever since the whole Death Tea incident, where because he was a real shit up
Well,
to
yeah,
that point.
he didn't give a fuck about Mokuba there, but now he cares. So
But now, like he's come to that realization that Mokuba is like what he really cares about, and he is willing to do whatever it takes. He's willing to put his life on the line
hmm.
to fucking do what he has to do for his brother. Like that's the like yeah, Kaiba Corp, whatever. But like Mokuba is the reason he is there.
Hmm.
So I mean, as much as I do think that's a bitch move, like I gotta give him some credit there because it's character growth.
Yeah, the gun threw me off though. I was like, oh right, shit.
Yeah,
And I'm like, isn't
yeah,
he a high school student? Like,
yeah,
I
because
was like,
we kind of like skipped over it a little bit, but like there was the whole bit with the puppet guy, and in the anime, like Kaiba was already awake and doing shit, and he like hacked into the duel arena, and that's why the blue eyes just kind of died. But here, like Kaiba was brain dead, and it was his waking up from his like brain dead coma that made the blue eyes kind of. This is one of the rare occurrences where I like the anime version better because it made more sense for him to be hacking into it.
yeah. Also, I have to say though, like in the Kaiba Yugi fight, this one thing that's always bothered me is like when Kaiba plays the crush card with the Sagi the Dark Clown, Yugi was like, I don't trust this, but I'm gonna attack it anyways.
Yeah,
I'm like, you could have saved yourself so much of a headache here.
true. Um, Also, I do want to say I do love that that the whole Kaiba stopping the hammer of the gun that's pointed at him by flicking a card in between the hammer and the chamber is still in the manga. I always loved that scene, and I still love it in the manga. And then he punches the dude out. He's like, "You made me damage a rare card, asshole."
Yeah. It's just a stupid scene, but I love it.
Um, and
Also, I
the card he used that he was so mad about ruining, it's actually kind of sucks.
which does it?
Yeah.
Um, so the trying to think any of the other like the Mako fight isn't much different. That's pretty much the same.
The only difference with the Mako fight well, first of all, we get a little bit more like context about like how that strategy worked with the whole moon thing. Like it actually made more sense in the manga. But the main difference I noticed is that he told that whole story about his dad, which didn't happen in the anime. And it's weird because in the manga here, when he's telling the story about his dad, like he has the story by saying, "Yeah, and then my dad and I got home and everything was cool." But I thought the whole story was that his dad was lost at sea, and that's like part of his whole thing. So I don't know, but he doesn't tell that story until Battle City in the anime. So I'm like really curious when we get to that part in Battle
Yeah.
City to see how that goes. because the whole thing where I like, oh, the legendary fisherman reminds me of my dad, and that's why I use it and this and that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm confused about that bit, but oh, and we also forgot. I was getting to this point and I got sidetracked, but the whole like aftermath of the Bandit Keith fight. So like in the anime, he like goes to jump Pegasus right then and there.
Yeah, and he gets flushed down the metaphorical toilet.
Yeah, like literally. But in the manga, he like kind of like heads him off in one of the hallways when Pegasus is walking down, and he pulls a knife on him like he's getting ready to fucking stab him right then and there. And Pegasus does a penalty game, and you know, like an old school like Shadow Yugi penalty game, and his hand turned like there's like a
turns into a gun.
Like it's not even that it turns into a gun. It's like a gun is like bursting out of the skin like halfway. Like one of those like weird, like fucked up, like my flesh is like melded into this gun, and it shoots him in the head.
Yeah,
which
leads me to wonder. Which I'm starting to wonder: is the Bandit Keith fight from Battle City still in the manga, or does that filler?
I think it is, but like the penalty, like almost all the penalty games that we've seen Yugi do or Shadow Yugi attempt, whatever the fuck you want to call them, almost all of them were illusions.
True.
So I'm assuming that was just an illusion.
Okay.
All
right. I'll keep that in mind when we get there. But yeah, that was different.
Yeah.
Obviously, they could not do that for the anime because
Well, I mean, they could have done it for the anime, but definitely not the 4Kids version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I still find weird because people pull guns on Ash all the time in the early episodes.
Well, those episodes got banned.
Not all of them. They dubbed some of them.
A lot of them got cut from syndication though.
Still. But anyways, we move on to Yugi versus Pegasus, which is pretty much beat for beat exactly the same.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about Kaiba versus Pegasus that much. It's mostly the same. Kaiba still has that epic moment where he just happens to draw the dragon, the blue eyes white dragon.
Still loses the same way.
Well, yeah, because freaking
and the whole like Mokuba thing, like we didn't see Mokuba's soul get sucked out in the first place, so like it was like a reveal in the manga when he walks out, like right when Kaiba and Pegasus are about to duel. So like that shook him.
Yeah,
right at the beginning of the duel, because nobody knew that Mokuba's soul had been sucked out at that point.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Also, like in the middle of the night before and like the tournament finals actually start, like Tristan's still doing his thing where he's looking for Kaiba and Mokuba.
Oh yeah, and Bandit Keith sees him and he's like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" He's like,
"But they don't do any of that like weird shit they did in the anime where like they went to like an underground chamber or something and they saw all these like people chanting and summoning real monsters and shit. Like that was
such a weird fucking thing in the anime.
And I think Tristan just oh wait, no, he did find Mokuba, but
yeah, because he's like chilling in that bed later before he wakes up.
But like nobody actually encounters evil Bakura like they do in the anime. He's just kind of like slinking around in the background.
Yeah, because he Tristan doesn't throw the ring out the window in this. He just gets on the boat. They also did the fun soup thing with the eyes in the soup.
Yes.
We got that great image from where like Mai had one in her mouth and she's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, and then also like because in the manga they've already met Shadi.
Like, right, that all happened. On the wall. Yeah, that happened all because I forgot the anime put that like right at the end of Duelist Kingdom for some reason.
Yeah. So we got that context. Like they'd recognize it immediately and like why is there a picture of Shadi on the wall?
Also, we didn't mention it, but there was the scene where Joey has to try to find his card, and he runs into Mai. I always forgot that scene, that little scene where like she's like, "Well, don't worry, we're friends now," and she walks off, and like the little turn and like wink at him. I'm like, that is so expressive. Why didn't she do this in the anime?
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, the Yugi Pegasus duel is pretty much exactly the same. There's not really much difference there.
Yeah, the shadow
the only
part,
big difference Yeah, the Shadow Realm bit, like
We don't get like
like
you Joey, Taya, and Tristan shenanigans outside this time around.
yeah, the only difference really is that the like to the outside, like to the people who aren't in the duel, it looks totally normal. Like there's no like shadow bubble around them. But to them, like they're seeing all of that.
Mm. Yeah, because they just
Um,
see Yugi collapse on the desk and they're all like, Yugi, no.
yeah.
Oh, I did love the when the Kaiba was trying to for some reason in this art style it was even better when Kaiba not Kaiba. When Pegasus is trying to read Yugi's mind and it's like the friends are blocking his thoughts and it's just like the whole like shame face like
Yeah.
like I love the way he drew that. He drew that. They just look so like shaming and they're like
Mm. Um yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get what they're doing there. Like they still the manga definitely doesn't lean into it nearly as hard as the anime does, but the friendship aspect is still definitely there. Like especially with that particular scene.
Well, because they do that in the anime, but it's not nearly as effective. I just the way he drew it, like they're just like disapproving looks. I'm like, damn, like that's great.
Mhm.
Because even
And,
even Pegasus is like, what? They're blocking my view. What do I
but
do?
they don't do the whole like, oh my god, Yugi's dead,
Yeah,
because
they
they're
just
like because they're all like almost immediately they're like like I mean Yugi blatantly told me that they can't like one soul can't exist in that body without the other. So Yugi is definitely alive because the Pharaoh's still there, or whatever they're calling him at this point. Other Yugi.
yeah. Waking the Dragons likes to fuck around with that, but thankfully that's not canon. So
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those situations where the non-canon stuff really like steps on the feet of
yeah.
the canon
I just
stuff.
remember Joey fucking sucker punching fucking Yami, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching?
I still love that scene. He just fucking decks him,
Yeah. Um.
especially the abridged version of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They've been Little Creebo's a genius. Um.
Um,
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Also, fucking Thousand Eyes Restrict, like this quote unquote like mega boss gets fucking wiped out so fast in the manga.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's like we say, like there is a much more consistent flow with the duels.
Mm.
It doesn't get boring.
I do love the way he draws some of the monster cards, though.
Yeah, for sure. Like he really gets to like really show off with some of those monsters.
Mm.
Um, so once the duel's over and Pegasus loses, um, so in the anime, he pretty much just like leaves. And it's just like, yeah, I'll release the guys.
No, and this he
And
straight up just pulls the cards out and does it right there, and it's like, damn.
yeah, and but in the anime, they have to learn all this like background on Pegasus by like reading his diary.
Mm.
But in this, he just straight up tells them, he's like, yeah, so
Which
like, you know,
I
my wife.
liked a
Oh,
lot
also,
more.
he's super young,
Yeah, they were both 17.
and it said that she died 70. So he's only 24. He's
Yeah.
super young.
I mean, the
Um,
way that he's drawn in the manga, he looks younger than he does in the anime.
true. This is true. Um, but like, yeah, he goes through into the whole story. Like, yeah, like my wife, who we were childhood friends, she died, and I was pretty much just like completely lost. And for some reason, I got interested in Egypt because they believe in the afterlife, which that really threw me for a loop because it's like, well, doesn't like every fucking culture believe in the afterlife? Like, why Egypt of all places? But all right, I guess it's fate. Um, so he goes and he ends up in the village of Kal Elna of all places. I didn't know that's where he went in the anime, but
They glossed over that super hard
that
in
is
the
a
anime.
big foreshadowing bit there. If you remember.
Yeah.
Uh, so he goes to the village of Kal Elna, and we actually see like a random thief trying to steal the Millennium
Oh
Ring.
yeah, and we get that exactly like we saw in Dark Side of Dimensions. That fucking ring, if it don't like you, it's gonna fucking murder you like right
Yeah.
away,
How did he? It was like it stabbed into his chest with the
and then
little like
fucking
dangles, and
combusted
then he
him.
like vomits fire out of his mouth and out of his eyeballs, and he just like dies, like
And,
incinerates.
and it's implied that like the Millennium items, like if they don't like their user, then they will just fucking kill them.
Yeah.
It's like,
which makes
goddamn.
sense because like when Yugi gets the like when he's telling the story about how his grandpa got the Millennium Puzzle, it even said multiple times like, oh yeah, pretty much everybody who had this puzzle box at one point or another like died mysteriously. So I mean it tracks.
Yeah.
Um so like Pegasus is like starts telling the whole story and he's describing Shoddy and like Yugi's interested like, oh, you met Shoddy. He's like, what? Shoddy? He never told me his name. You know him? Like
Yeah.
they have that moment like, oh shit, you know him? Like that was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Pegasus is a lot more interesting in the manga.
Yeah.
Um,
Um so yeah, he goes through the
also,
whole story about how he gets the eye and like how he like sees like kind of like gets that like glimpse into the world beyond and sees his wife, and that's what really like drives him to like that was the reason he wanted Kaiba Corp is so that he would have access to that technology and could
yeah,
like
like
combine the magic of the technology to kind of like recreate her.
they say that yeah, like he was interested in the dual discs because they have the most advanced hologram technology on the planet.
Mhm.
Which is crazy because he had one in his hand, but he made a joke about it, and which is interesting, just like the way they frame that.
Yeah, but I mean, we both know that they advance much further onward, which makes you wonder why he wants Kaiba out of the picture so bad because Kaiba's the one developing a lot of this shit.
Not important. Oh.
But whatever. So yeah, he gets the eye, and then he's just like, yeah, and then I made dual monsters,
Yeah,
and now we're here. But it doesn't like say like it's weird because he in the anime he wanted the puzzle because he thought that would like more Millennium items would help him with this whole thing. He didn't mention the puzzle once.
no, because I don't think the puzzle's really important to him.
Like he's not interested in having the puzzle in any way,
Well,
shape, or
because
form.
it's implied that he knows what happens when a Millennium item that doesn't jive with you comes in contact. He's like, I don't want that.
Well, I think it's somewhat implied that if you're worthy of a Millennium item, you can possess any of them. Like once one
True,
of them gives you a pass, you're pretty much good.
true. Because Bakura has like half of them. Yugi has half of them at one point. And Merrick has half of them at one point.
Yeah. So I think it's just a thing where if you have ownership of one of them, you can get away with having the others.
Maybe it's
Um,
because he realizes the puzzle's not really useful to him.
mhm.
Because the
Well, that's
puzzle's kind of the most interesting one because it's not really implied what it actually does other than house the pharaoh.
that's pretty much it. Is the Pharaoh has special powers of his own, and that's kind of the whole thing.
But
Um,
even then, like the pharaoh's tied to Yugi, so it like probably wouldn't do anything anyways.
no, that's like the whole thing. Is it? And it's like I'm pretty sure it is a thing because I'm fairly certain he's a descendant,
Yeah.
which is makes sense
Well,
why they look like the same.
why that unreal, impossible hair exists? Like,
It got passed down through the generations because Grandpa has that hair.
yeah, he does.
Um, so we got that touching reunion between the Kaiba brothers.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, and we actually learned earlier that the little like card locket that Kaiba wore throughout that whole arc, that Mokuba had actually made those with that one that iconic picture of the two of them playing chess,
Hmm.
and he put it around his neck while he was still in a coma, and that's why he's wearing it. I
Yeah,
thought that was kind of cool context for that.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. And then they turned it into key cards later,
Yeah.
as of
Um,
course Kaiba did.
but yeah, we get that touching reunion between them, and it's like one of those like really like wow, these characters have come a long way from where they started in the manga because they were
Also,
both awful people.
yeah, yeah. Also, in this one, when Joey gets the videotape from his sister, everybody's present when he watches it, so they are all actually part of it this time around.
Yeah.
Because I know,
Yeah, we didn't really talk about his sister at all, did we?
no, I mean she appears frequently throughout this.
Yeah,
She
his name's
looks,
like his name's like Shizuka or something like that.
yeah. What was her name in the Serenity or something?
Serenity, yeah.
Such a dub name, but
I wonder if Duke Devlin's name is the same.
oh yeah, Duke's in this. Duke's in this. I forgot about
He's a
that.
canon character, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember
I
because like
can't remember if the like video game thing is part of the manga or not. I'll have to look after this.
I do find it funny though, like because like they're all present when Joey watches the video with Shizuka. Of course, like Tristan's like, "Ooh, who's that Smoke Joe?" And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Dude, chill."
And I think it's funny, like when they get the tape, they're like, "Oh my god, did Pegasus send you one too?" It's just
Yeah.
like
Well,
he's a nobody.
when I watched the anime the first time, that is what I thought initially until it's like, oh no, it's something else.
It's like no, he's actually like literally just a nobody.
Yeah, a
Nobody
nobody
knows who he is.
a nobody that like lucks his way into fucking everything.
Pretty much. That's like his whole dueling style.
Is
All of his cards are based on gambling.
Yeah, like that if it comes as which is kind of cool. Well, his deck is like starts out as gambling, but then he has like random like powerful cards. Like,
Well, he gets all those from Battle City.
yeah. Well, I mean, he had Red Eyes. Well, he doesn't have Red Eyes for Battle City, but
Yeah, that's true. Now he gets Jinzo. That's his replacement for Red Eyes.
Jinzo, the fish,
It's
and the bug.
arguably the better card, depending.
I love
I
Red
mean, Red
Eyes.
Eyes has the fusion stuff going for it, but
Do we see him get his Red Eyes back in the manga? Just curious, or is that still an implied thing that happened off screen?
I don't know because I've only read up to like the final
Okay.
starting, so I have not read that far.
Okay, because I know he gets I know in the anime it was implied the fight at the end of Battle City, Joey won and got the card back.
Yeah.
Because he has it after that again. So
Although I guess we would really have no way of knowing that because Waking the Dragons didn't happen.
well, he
And
has
that
the
little tournament after that didn't happen.
true. I think he uses Red Eyes though at one point in the final arc.
Maybe.
Because I
Possibly.
know he has it. It's confirmed because he had it in no, Pyramid of Life isn't canon. What am I saying? I wish it was canon. That movie's a masterpiece of shit.
So yeah, we get the little reunion, and then like they're like Mokuba turns around, is like, haha, we have a helicopter, there's no boats for you, you're stuck here. And then they walk away, and they get like halfway down the stairs, and Mokuba's just like, yo, let's give them a ride. Like
Yeah.
they
He's
kind of
like,
saved us. Maybe we should just give them a ride.
Mokuba's like conscience comes back and he's like, I can't really be that much of a dick, can I?
And then Mai's just on a cliff, like, fuck, there's no boats. Like, why is there no boats left? Like, why didn't they think of that?
Yeah, why did they leave? Yeah, I just realized that. How did Mai get home?
All the winners get screwed. All the losers got sent home on rowboats. Where'd the ship go?
Not important.
Well,
yeah,
anyways.
that is also the Joey. They show Yugi get the money and everything, and it's in an envelope. And I was like, wow, it's so corporate.
Yeah,
I wanted
because
to.
at the beginning of the finals, he pulled out a chest full of gold, and then at the end, they're just like, "Here's an envelope full of money.
All a
Go
prop.
away."
All a prop.
That was actually plastic.
Fake Millennium Eyes. Oh, also, yeah, that's another thing. Bakura gives Pegasus a fake Millennium Eye as a consolation. I was like, that's fucked.
Yeah, he gives him one of the eyes from the soup.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we get that one scene of just Pegasus just like fucking like pretty much dead in his chair with just blood all down his face, all down his front because Bakura stole his eye.
do we see Pegasus again?
I don't think so.
Huh.
So it's implied he's dead.
I don't know if I like that more or not. Because I honestly like Pegasus as a character. Actually, that makes it more tragic because I like him as a character in the manga.
Yeah, because I mean, at least in the anime, he doesn't show up again until, well, Pyramid of Light and Waking the Dragons. And then like you get like a little smidgen of him like at the very end of the show, like when Yugi and the Pharaoh are getting ready to have their duel after the whole Egypt stuff. So I don't think we're gonna see him again.
Maybe Reshep of Destruction is the true canon.
Well, you know what? We'll get more information about that when we meet Duke Devlin because his whole beef with Yugi was because he beat Pegasus and Pegasus is about to give him his big break.
Right. Also, is the virtual world filler?
I don't remember.
Well, not the virtual. There's two fucking virtual worlds.
The video game version, yeah. I don't remember.
Okay, because I both love and hate that arc because it's ridiculous. But
I know Dungeon Dice Monsters definitely happens. I don't remember if the video game thing does.
okay, good to know.
I'll have to look into that when I get home.
But yeah, overall though, I really like this the manga version of this. I mean, I got annoyed that certain things got cut out that I thought were canon, but
True. Yeah, there's one or two things that I did like in the anime more, but the vast majority of it, I like the manga version better.
the character, just expressive characters, are the chef's kiss. Like I love. I'll say it again. So much more expressive and interesting in the manga.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where a lot of these characters are taken in the next arc,
Mm, I
which we
gotta.
will be covering in 2 separate episodes because it's very long.
It's very long, and I need to buy more of the manga because I don't have all of it, so I'm gonna have to get around to that.
Well,
Money's a little tight right now. But
well, you have plenty of time because we still got to go through. Well, how far do you have right now?
I think up to 21. So I'm gonna
I
have
mean,
to.
you might need one more for the next art or for the next section that we'll be covering, but I mean, aside from that, like we got 2 whole cycles before we get to the point where you really need to like get a decent amount more. So
Okay, fair enough. But yeah. So I enjoyed that.
yeah, for sure. And I am looking forward to getting to some more of it because I don't remember a ton because it's been a while since I read the Yu-Gi-Oh manga in general, but especially the Battle City stuff, which I never even finished. So I'm looking forward to seeing how some of that plays out.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually like really kind of hyped going forward. It's been a fun read. The art alone is it's just so unique. Like it has a look to it.
For sure. Like this is one of those things like the Pokemon manga. It's one of those things where like you wouldn't think it would be like enough of like an entertaining read to keep you interested, but it really is.
Yeah. But I think that's a good enough place to wrap this up. Um Next time we cover manga, we're going back to Death Note. So looking forward to that.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, I think we have some stuff planned for next week. We'll talk off screen, but yeah. So once again, guys, thank you for joining us on Geek Addicts. You can find Geek Addicts on all your major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. And be sure to check us out over on the Superpod Network. That is superpodnetwork.com. It's an awesome site where you can find all sorts of videos, blogs, podcasts, all sorts of stuff. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. Um, and there's a whole bunch of awesome shows like Super Pod Saga, Super Ghost Radio, Retro Rehab, Tommy's Video Game Ride Along, A Novel Console, Bar Silence, Fine Time, The Elder Trolls Gaming Podcast, Remember 64, Gaming Together, Friday Night Gamecast, Gaming and Collecting, The 3DO Experience, Geek Addicts, The Retro Wildlands, Press B to Cancel, The Pre-Order Bonus Podcast, Retro Mo Reviews, and Tommy and Grant Go Podcasting. And with that, everybody, we will see you all later.
Have a good one.